This is a Miami Sports Music Podcast Network production. This is the #1 Miami fan morning show. Clock Blockers, let's go.
I know the whole city right. A little early, it's a bit surprising. Business moves, now we enterprising. Switch it up, now we improvising. Go to get in the winter column. Whole squad been training.
What up, baby?
Singing this just to welcome bro.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Clock Blockers, the #1 Miami fan morning show. Super excited to be hanging out with you today. It's a big deal. We're doing big things. How y'all doing today? What's up? If you haven't done so already, a good morning to my Finlaws and my family. Super excited to be hanging out with y'all today. It's good stuff here. I am Stephen Daniels. You can follow me on all social media at Stephen D SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Make sure you guys do that. Was on the phone with the Washington Commanders this morning. That's why I was a little late. Doing big things for that FedEx takeover. If you guys need to get tickets for that FedEx takeover, let me tell you, it's going to be fire. I got limited tickets. I got some new tickets available. So if you want to get tickets to the game, I got some extra tickets. So it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a real good time. Super excited about it. Hey, look, if you are new to this, we're Miami Sports Music. You can follow us on all social media at Miami Sports Music, except on Twitter or whatever it is, X, whatever the kids are calling it nowadays. At MIA Sports Music. You can also hit that like button on your way in. Seriously, do that. Hit the like button. It's free. It doesn't cost anything to hit the like button. And subscribe to the channel. No, seriously, subscribe. It helps. It goes such a long way into helping the channel grow. So subscribe to the channel. It's a big deal. Okay. Hey, look, if you want to sign up to become a member today, there are plenty of seats waiting at the table for you. We'd love to get 2 new members to the channel today. Would you? I'd love to get 2 new members. I'm going to drop the link in the chat right now for people. So if they want to sign up and become a member and become part of the family, yeah, it's going to be good. Daniel G says, so ready to make this trip to DC in 2.5 weeks, bro. It's going to be fire. It's going to be fire. If you haven't gotten your tailgate tickets, if you haven't gotten your game tickets, whatever it's meet and greet, RSVPs, bus tickets, it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a doozy, and you need to be there for it. And if you're not, I don't know what you're waiting on. It's going to be awesome. Hey, look, if you want to help the channel grow by donating, a couple different ways you can do it. You can use the YouTube live super chat, which is the $ below the bottom of the chat. If somebody wants to donate $1 right now just to test it, that way you can show people that it works. You guys can do that. Let people know how it works. It helps. It goes such a long way into helping the channel grow. And I'm not able to really do the show without the help of you guys donating monetarily. So if you guys are even able to donate $1, it helps. Now, if you're not able to donate, that's fine too. How you help me is by sharing this link, letting people know that we're live, letting people know about the channel, telling people to subscribe to the channel. When you're out and about and you're just doing your everyday stuff and somebody wears Dolphins, hey, do you watch Clock Blockers? Do you watch Miami Sports Music? That's another way that you can help too. It's a big deal. Goes such a long way. If you want to help the channel grow by donating but don't want to give like almost 50% to YouTube, you can also give on Cash App and PayPal, which is $MSM Podcast Network, or use the QR code that's right on your screen, or MSM Podcast Network, or use the QR code that's right on your screen. Want to give a big shout out to our sponsor of the show, Tailgreeter. Download the app today on your current Crapple. That's what I said, Crapple, or Android devices. It goes such a long way into doing stuff. And let me tell you, when we do the FedEx takeover and we did the Philly Finvasion and we're going to do the Baltimore beatdown, Tailgreeter's the place to go. Okay. They're amazing. They're wonderful people. And we can't say enough good things about Tailgreeter. So go to tailgreeter.com, Type in FedEx Takeover. Get your tickets today. Hey, if you're going to the game this weekend in Miami, go to tailgreeter.com, type in East 32 Dolphins Tailgate, and you're going to be hanging out at the best tailgate around. It's good stuff. It really is. Yeah. And I think that's about it. I think that's it. Steven, you're too daggone calm for me. All right. Well, first things first. Last night was amazing. Okay. I don't know about you, but if you could ever win a bye week, if you could ever put a win in the win column for a bye week, it would be what happened to the Dolphins this weekend. The New York Jets lost. The New England Patriots lost. Who else lost? The Baltimore Ravens lost. I mean, there was so many teams that lost this weekend. It was unreal. It was unreal how many teams. Jacksonville Jaguars lost this weekend, if I'm correct. It was unbelievable. And but nothing made me more happy. Nothing made me more happy than last night. I watched the entire game last night. And there's a couple things. Cincinnati lost 2. That's right, Nanza Chill. Cincinnati lost 2. Every year, teams and fans always go against each other on many different things, on many different levels. But it's always crap that's talked to us, and especially this year, and even within our own fan bases, you can't beat quality teams, can't beat good teams. We beat the Denver Broncos in week 3, 70-20. We put a 50-point butt whooping on them boys. 70-20 in week 3. And in the last 3 weeks, the Denver Broncos have reemerged into something different and have won the last 2 weeks against Kansas City and then last night against Buffalo in Buffalo. And the way last night's game ended was unfreaking believable. I don't know about you, but let me tell you something. Last night's game was unfreaking real. It was unreal. If I'm correct, last night's game, the last couple of plays were, let me try to keep on clock. They kept on spiking it. Buffalo kept on calling timeouts. They got rid of their timeouts. So about 20 seconds left in the game. They spike the ball. They get there. And so now it's 4th down. So now they switch teams out. Offense to special teams. Buffalo knows what's going on. They're not stupid. Or maybe they are. I don't know. They're Buffalo fans. They're Buffalo. But the kick happens with time essentially expiring, and it's a miss to the right. And my heart sank in my stomach of, are you kidding me? The Bills get so freaking lucky on some BS. And next thing I know, there's yellow on the field. There is yellow on the field, ladies and gentlemen. And it is late at night. My kids are asleep, and I definitely screamed out loud in my living room, and I'm pretty sure I woke everybody in my house. Didn't care. Did not care. Was about that life last night. Don't care about no kids going to sleep and going to school the next day. All I cared about was that flag on the field for 12 men on the field. I don't know whose job it was to count how many people were supposed to be on that field, but to lose a game by not having 12 players on the field, because now Denver gets to re-kick it again. And by the way, Will Lutz doesn't normally miss stuff. He's pretty money. They traded for him because he's money most of the time. And for that to happen in the fashion and in the way that it happened was beautiful. Number one, I know that the stat sheet didn't say it last night, but Russell looks like a totally different quarterback than he did 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. The entire team of Denver looks a little bit different than they did several weeks ago. I have been telling people this. The Miami Dolphins, in my opinion, I understand they're not in first place. I understand they just lost to the Kansas City Chiefs. I get it. I understand it. But if you go look at the rest of the league right now, okay, rest of the conference right now, I can give you a good argument why the Dolphins are the most consistent team in the NFL, and especially in the AFC side. If you go look at the Kansas City Chiefs, I mean, they almost lost to us, and I get almost doesn't count except horseshoe and hand grenades. I get it. I understand it. But let me ask you something. That's the same team that lost to Denver the week before, should have lost to us. I mean, they're not elite. They're not 10 times better than we are in any way, shape, or form. And I know that they're going to lose a few more games. They're going to. I am not scared or nervous about the Chiefs. The Baltimore Ravens essentially lost a crazy game to the Cleveland Browns over the weekend. And I don't care what anybody says. I get that Cleveland has a decent defense. I understand it. But Deshaun Watson and that offense ain't about to kill nobody in the playoffs. Let's just throw that out there now. Let's just throw that out there right the F now. The Bengals are The Chargers are ugh. The Broncos are in last place and essentially are playing like the most dominant team in the AFC West, which is crazy to me. The Jaguars lost. The Texans might be the best team in that division, and they have a rookie quarterback in C.J. Stroud. So tell me why the Miami Dolphins are not the most consistent team, because their one bad loss was in Buffalo, where we haven't played well for years. They're a divisional opponent. I don't care that they lost to Denver last night. Divisional opponents play different against one another. They do. Divisional opponents play different. If you want to give me the argument about Kansas City, I'll take it. I'll hear it. But in my opinion, the Miami Dolphins are the most consistent thing in the NFL right now. And in my opinion, they bring you the strongest candidate to be the best team in the AFC. If it wasn't for X mistakes or X fumble or certain play calling decisions, we would be there. We have not gotten blown out except for the Buffalo game. That's it. The Buffalo game's the only game where we legit lost, where the team outplayed us and we were not good. Philadelphia, we should have beat them. We were there. 6.5 minutes left, 1-score game. Wasn't quite ready to pull it off. Kansas City, that fumble by Tyreek at the end of the first half came back to bite us in the ass. And we know what happened in the last 4 plays of the game. Did Tua make a misread? Did Mike McDaniel abandon the run? Whatever it is, the NFL set us up on our bye week for us to be in control of our own destiny pretty much. I know Kansas City needs to lose a couple of other games. I'm pretty sure they will. I think that the Miami Dolphins are the strongest team in the AFC. They are the strongest team in the AFC, and in my opinion, it's not even close. It's not even close. Because we play against Kansas City now, we know what we need to do to beat them. We do. We know what we need to do to beat them. I am telling you right now, the Miami Dolphins are the strongest team in the AFC. Seeing all of these teams lose this weekend. By the way, we have a 1.5 game cushion in the AFC East. We have a 1.5 game cushion in the AFC East. Thank you, Denver. Thank you, Denver Broncos. Thank you, Russell Wilson. I appreciate it. You're a hell of a guy. You got Sierra and you beat the Bills. Thumbs up to you, Russell, whatever your name is. I'm telling you right now, like, let's go through the teams. Let's go through them. We'll save the AFC East for last. We'll start in the AFC South, okay? The Jaguars. The Jaguars, if you look at what's going on with them right now, their remaining games are the Tennessee Titans, the Houston Texans, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Carolina Panthers, and the Tennessee Titans. I mean, that's a tough schedule. Texans, Bengals, Browns, Ravens. Hell, even the Bucs can put up a fight at home. I don't see the Jaguars winning the division. I'm just letting y'all know that right now. And I'll be honest with you, I think the Jaguars are going to miss out on the playoffs entirely. That's the way I look at it. I know they're 6-3. Jaguars will miss the playoffs entirely. Mark my words. The Texans' remaining schedule is the Jaguars, the Broncos, the Jets, the Titans, the Browns, the Titans, the Colts. I mean, it's a little bit, it definitely got some tough games in there. But the way CJ Stroud is playing, that man is a rookie and already kind of in the MVP conversation. I mean, those are facts. So the Texans, I think, are going to win that division with a rookie quarterback. CJ Stroud seems to be the truth. And he's definitely playing like it. And I have to admit, I did not see that coming in any way, shape, or form. The Colts are sitting at 5-5. I'm not even going to go into them because I don't think they're going to do anything. And the Titans, well, they're the Titans. And they're not doing anything at 3-6. And Ryan Tannehill has played his last game, unless Will Levi gets hurt, has played his last game as a Tennessee Titan. Mark my words. Let's go to the AFC North. AFC North might be the strongest division in all of football right now. Those are facts. Last place is 5-4. Every team is over 500 in that division. Cincinnati is sitting at 5-4. The Bengals. And Joe Burrow at any point in time, can turn the light switch on and start balling. Now, I don't know why they haven't been consistent over this year, why they're playing close to a 500 team, but all I know is that they can turn the light switch on, and they've done it before. They've turned the light switch on and went all the way to a Super Bowl. So don't sleep on Cincinnati, even though they're in last place. Can't sleep on them. Cleveland, 6-3. They beat the Baltimore Ravens. Before this weekend, a lot of people thought the Baltimore Ravens might be the best team in the AFC. Cleveland came up and said, hello. We are here in this division as well. I'm sorry, until the Cleveland Browns win the division, I'm not going to believe in the Cleveland Browns. Because the Cleveland Browns, in my opinion, will find a way to Cleveland Brown it up. They will. They will. They will figure it out. They will figure out a way to Cleveland Brown it up, and we're gonna be standing there and we're gonna be like, what is going on with this? What is going on here? So just looking around the league and understanding, what the Dolphins need to do and seeing where those things are, I look and I say to myself, okay, all right. Dolphins have everything they need to win, and in my opinion, have been the most consistent team in the NFL. I don't care that they've averaged 39 points a game in their wins and 18 points in their losses. Their defense is starting to show up and it's starting to come around. And I promise y'all on everything that's good, they're going to be there in the end when it happens. But let's go back to the AFC North. Cleveland Browns. I still think they're going to finish. Let's look at the Browns' schedule. The Browns' schedule is the Steelers, the Broncos, the Rams, the Jaguars, the Bears, the Texans, and the Jets. Browns might make it based on who they play alone. They could win the division because they have a weak-ass schedule to begin with. Their toughest game is probably going to be the Steelers this weekend. I mean, they could definitely, look, the Broncos have been playing good, I'm going to tell you, if Broncos beat Cleveland in 2 weeks, Denver's making the playoffs. If Denver beats Cleveland in 2 weeks, Denver is making the playoffs. But that's a weak schedule. That is a weak-ass schedule. Let's go back and look at the rest of the AFC North. Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, looking at them. You know what? I'm going to share my screen with this too. So I want you all to see what I'm seeing. Share screen. All right, here we go. All right, so Pittsburgh Steelers, their remaining schedule is the Browns, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Patriots, the Colts, the Steelers, the Seahawks, the Ravens. Well, they got a good 3-game stretch in the Cardinals, Patriots, and Colts. Those might be 3 wins right there, but what do the next 2 weeks look like for the Steelers? Right? The Browns and the Bengals. If they can come out of that with at least 1 win in the next 2 weeks and then win the next 3, I mean, they'll be sitting at 4-1 over the next 5 games, and going into that final 3 games, I mean, it's going to be tough. You got to go all the way. See, Steelers have to go all the way to the West Coast to play Seattle. Steelers have to go all the way to the West Coast to play Seattle and that New Year's Eve game. I'm just saying. And then you go back and you look and you say the Baltimore Ravens. Baltimore Ravens remaining schedule. Cincinnati Bengals, Los Angeles Chargers, LA Rams, Jacksonville Jaguars, the 49ers in San Francisco, the Miami Dolphins at home on New Year's Eve, and then the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, last game of the year. Ravens don't have a cupcake schedule. This 3-game, the Chargers, the Rams, and the Jaguars, they should win probably those 3 games. But in my opinion, the looking around the league, the Ravens are one of those teams that, you feel like they can show up 1 week and then the next week they're like, what are they doing? What are they doing? Where are they at? Oh, Reverend William Perry. Look who showed up to work today. What's up, baby? How are you? I like it. Daniel Taylor says the Bills are now 5-5 and have to play the Eagles and the Chiefs on the road. The Dolphins are 6-3 and already played both of them. This is the most open the AFC has been in a long time. Daniel Taylor, this is not open. The Dolphins have this in the bag. Okay, just letting you know. That's how I feel about it. Look, if I'm honest, I think that the Ravens and if they beat Cincinnati this weekend, right? That'll be a tough game. It's at home for Baltimore. That'll be a good game. That's Thursday night football, man. Cincinnati, Baltimore. Everybody should be watching that game if you're a Dolphins fan. It's going to be important to know. It's going to play a big role into how the AFC is going to play out in the seeding and everything. So it'll be interesting to see that game on Thursday night. And then if the Ravens lose, they definitely need to win the next 3. Because if they lose even one of the games in the next 3 and over the next 4 finish 2-2, and their final 3 games are going to San Fran, playing the Dolphins at home, and then the Steelers, I don't know if the Ravens pull it out. The Ravens, I mean, that's a tough division. It's a tough division. Super tough. Okay? Let's go to the AFC West. You got the Broncos, who are in last place at 4-5, who, for all intents and purposes, might be the hottest team in all of the NFL right now. I mean, look at the last 2 games they beat. Okay, they're on a 3-game winning streak. That their defense seems to be showing up. Now that offense, that can be scary at times, but they did beat the Kansas City Chiefs. And they did beat Buffalo in Buffalo. I do want to say this about the Broncos. In my opinion, for a team to get curb stomped 70-20, and then over the next 5 weeks, show up and essentially create a new image for their franchise. I don't know. I mean, is that a testament to Sean Payton? Because during that curb stomping, everybody was questioning whether Sean Payton should have came back to coach football or not. Now in a 3-game win streak, is he the reason that they're able to kind of look in the mirror and say, we don't care that we lost 70-20. We're going to come out here and we're going to play some football. And they've been playing some football the last couple of weeks. Broncos are in last place in that division, and they are hands down not the worst team in that division. They're not. Los Angeles Chargers sitting at 4-5. That'll be interesting as well. Justin Herbert. What type of Herbert are we going to see? What type of Chargers team are we going to see over the final second half of the year? Let's actually go back to the Broncos real quick, and let's look at their remaining schedule. The Broncos' remaining schedule are the Vikings, the Browns, the Texans, the Chargers. The Broncos, essentially being at 4-5, are almost in a must-win every week. And with every additional loss that they get, it makes that following week that much harder. That much harder. I think Peyton kept starters on the field in that blowout to humble them. They may be buying into Peyton now, outside Steve says. I don't know. You might be right about that, outside Steve. And look, from me just looking at it from an outside point of view, I mean, look, if they come back and make the playoffs, you got to give Sean Payton essentially an opportunity to win Coach of the Year. Because to lose a game 70-20, and then still have your team. And by the way, you lose what, 4 to your first 5? I'm very interested to see what Denver does moving forward. These last 3 games for me have been kind of eye-opening. That you all you have to do is get hot in the NFL. You just have to get hot. That's it. So looking at that, like I said, you got the Broncos, the Browns, the Texans, or you got the Vikings, the Browns, the Texans, the Chargers. And then your final 4 games are against the Lions, the Patriots, the Chargers, and the Raiders. Broncos have 1 guaranteed win in that final 8 games. And we all know which one it is. It's the Patriots. That's a guaranteed win for the Broncos. Definitely getting that dub. I'm guaranteeing the Broncos on Christmas Eve give us a Christmas present by beating the New England Patriots. Let me just tell you, it is so beautiful to see the Patriots just absolutely horrible. Just an absolute trash football team. It's beautiful. I love it. I don't know about you. But it's so good after 20 years of seeing them up at the top to see them down in the gutter in the mud. Makes me happy. Makes me feel good on the inside. I'm just telling you. That's how I feel. I'm not a hater. I'm just glad. I'm just real glad. Let's go to the Raiders. What are the Raiders? It's funny. Josh McDaniels gets fired. And a lot of people say, hey, look, when an interim head coach comes in this early into the season, halfway through the season, sometimes that can reignite a franchise. That can give them a little bit of momentum of what they do. Now, let's call a spade here, right? They They beat the Patriots back on October 15th when Josh McDaniels was still there, but they lost 30-12 to the Bears, and they lost 26-14 to the Raiders, and then they beat the Giants to the Lions. Then they beat the Giants 30-6. And then they beat the Jets 16-12. They play us this week. My personal opinion of this game is we're going to curb stomp them. I will knock on wood for those people that want me to knock on wood. But I don't see Aiden O'Connell, whoever's going to play quarterback for the Raiders, come up and do anything against us. We are a totally different team at home. I don't see it being a close game. Dolphins are going to absolute mollywop the Raiders this weekend. Mollywop them. That's how I look at it. I don't think that it's a trap game either, because we're coming off a loss after a bye week, and we're coming to make a statement in the NFL. As a matter of fact, Dolphins are putting up 50-plus points this weekend, I think. We're going to come back and play. A-Chan's coming back this weekend. Whew. I'm just saying. That's how I look at that team right now. But enough about the Dolphins. We're going to come back to them at the end. Let's keep on going with the Raiders. The Raiders' final games are the Chiefs, the Vikings. By the way, somebody had said it in the chat, the Vikings, I'm not going to necessarily do the NFC, but that is such a great storyline with Joshua Dobbs. Joshua Dobbs and what the Vikings are going through. I have to tell you, when Kirk Cousins went down with torn Achilles and was out for the year, I said, man, I don't know. I think I don't see them doing anything. And then for them to make the trade, they had a couple of opportunities to trade for different people at the trade deadline. And they thought Joshua Dobbs was their best bet. I didn't necessarily think that. I thought there was other opportunities for them that could have played out better for them. But man, let me tell you, that's why I'm here doing YouTube, and that's why the coaches are making the coaching decisions in Minnesota, because they were right. Joshua Dobbs is such a good fit in that offense. He's playing really well. He's got the respect, and he's got the love of his teammates and coaching staff. And that is a great storyline playing in Minnesota. And it's fun to watch if you're a football fan. It's fun to watch. I don't know if Joshua Dobbs could be comeback player of the year. Maybe he could. But man, it's such a fun storyline to see for Joshua Dobbs. So I am excited to see what happens there. All right. Raiders remaining schedule: Chargers, Chiefs, Colts, Broncos. Well, they have a tough one too. It's not a cakewalk. They got to play the Chiefs 2 more times. They got to play us. They got to play the Broncos again. They got to play the Vikings, who are really hot right now. I mean, honestly, if I'm looking at their final games, the only ones that really make sense to me that they might have a shot in are the Chargers and the Colts. And again, the Chargers are a divisional opponent, and it doesn't matter how good or how bad somebody plays. You know, it'll be interesting. On the right team with the right system, he is an above-average starter. He's a hell of a backup. He is 100%. He is 100%. Not to mention, they got a great DC up there in Minnesota. DDG says, you're right. You are correct about that. Jefferson might play this weekend too. Yep. That'll be interesting to see. All right. Going back to the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City Chiefs coming off a victory against us in Germany. How do I really feel about the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't think they're frauds. They're the defending Super Bowl champions. You can't say that they're frauds. I don't think that they're the team that they were last year. But Patrick Mahomes is still Patty Mahomes, okay? And when Patrick Mahomes decides he wants to turn on the light switch, it's a wrap. It doesn't matter who's playing at wide receiver. There's a reason that they won a Super Bowl. They essentially won a Super Bowl last year with Juju Smith-Schuster as their number one. Now, Travis Kelce was probably their number one, but he's a tight end. So, it's when you have the number one tight end and the number one quarterback, and a really good offensive line, you can win some football games. And their defense it's a really good defense. It's a reason that it held us to 14 points. It's a reason that they're defending Super Bowl champions. Uh-oh. Breaking news, ladies and gentlemen. Breaking news. Are y'all ready for this? Let me get this off the screen real quick. I'm going to come back to it. Breaking news on Clock Blockers, the #1 Miami fan morning show. Ken Dorsey has been fired as offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, ladies and gentlemen. Ken Dorsey has been fired by the Buffalo Bills. Let me explain something to y'all, okay? Number one, I mean, look, Ken Dorsey's going to find work. So let's not say a man lost his job. That man got fired, okay? He's going to find a job again in the NFL. But, man, let me tell you, I said at the end of last year, towards the end of last year, I told y'all in the preseason, I said, hey, look, you know, the Dolphins, this was my comparison for the Dolphins and the Bills. Dolphins go out. They say, hey, look, we beat them in the first week. That December game, they should have beat them. They lose pretty much by one score. And then we lose 34-31 with a third-string quarterback, essentially, and all those injuries we had on defense in the playoffs last year, right? I said, I don't think that Buffalo, I think Buffalo, their run is over. They lose Brian Daboll. They fired or mutually parted ways. They fired Leslie Frazier. Leslie didn't want to be there, and he knew what kind of cluster you know what it was up there in Buffalo. Now, 2.5 years ago, we all wanted Ken Dorsey to come here and be our offense coordinator, right? There was a lot of people. I wasn't pounding on the table, but I was like, I wouldn't mind it. What you all have to understand is this. Josh Allen has an arm. There's no doubt about that. But there is a reason, and Buffalo fans can admit this or not admit this or deny it all the hell they want, that before Stephon Diggs got there, Bills fans were pounding on the table for another quarterback. They did not like Josh Allen. They didn't think that he was the guy. Josh Allen comes, totally different story, right? Changes the ways, changes the world, changes the eyes and views of everybody. They think this guy's amazing. They give him this big-ass contract. Josh Allen's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Well, over the last year, we've kind of seen, Stephon wasn't too happy at the end of last year. He definitely wasn't happy this year. And then last night after the loss, Trayvon Diggs, Stephon's brother, has the cryptic tweet saying, got to get 14 out of there. Got to get 14 out of there. Ken Dorsey is a scapegoat. That's all he is in this situation. Is it his fault that Josh Allen is a turnover machine? I don't think so, because Josh Allen was that before he got there. For some reason, Brian Daboll might have been able to bring that out of them. I don't know where they go from here, but I'm telling you right now, the 3-year run as AFC East champs are over. Over. Done. Gone. Fanache. Put it to bed. Niche. However you want to say it. Frauds. Fugazi. That's what the Buffalo Bills are. And I would not be surprised that at the end of this year, Stephon Diggs is gone. Josh Allen, he might still be there. But an entirely new coaching staff. Maybe Sean McDermott stays because he'll get the benefit of the doubt of what he's done for the last 3 years. But let Brian Daboll get fired in New York. Let him get fired in New York. I don't think it'd be fair for him to get fired with the Giants. But I could totally see that. What did Trayvon say? Did Trayvon say something else? Let's not forget, he didn't start going off till bro got there. Oh, what did Stephen D just say? Look at that. This is what Trayvon just put an hour ago on Twitter. Let's not forget, he didn't start going off till bro got there, cuz. I've been saying that for 2 years. And people were like, you can't say that about Josh Allen. You can't say that about Josh Allen. Bro, that man was nothing until he got there. And you know what? I'll say this. Tua was nothing until Mike McDaniel got there. Some people need certain people. There's nothing wrong with that. But Josh Allen ain't the guy, y'all. He is not the guy. Not him. Nope. No, sir. He is not. The best thing for the Buffalo Bills to do is throw in the towel on this season and hope they get a good draft pick to get another quarterback. That's honestly where they're at. That's where two teams are at in that division. Because Wack Jones, trash bum-ass quarterback. Josh Allen, trash bum-ass quarterback. Zach Wilson. There's 3 trash quarterbacks in this division. Just straight garbage. Put them on the side of the road. Let the dumpster truck get them. Zach Wilson, Josh Allen, and Wack Jones. All trash, all nothing. Nothing. Even the Tua haters have to admit that Tua is the best quarterback in that division right now. Even the Tua haters that stay in hiding better come out and say, well, you know what? He is better than those 3. I'll give him that. He better than those 3. By the way, I think Tua is one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Just want to throw that out there. But I know the Tua haters. Rodgers ain't playing, DDG. That man is not playing. If Allen is trash, what that say about the Dolphins' inability to beat them? Some teams just have certain teams' numbers. Outside Steve, the Miami Dolphins for years were trash, but they found a way to beat Brady a lot. As a matter of fact, nobody had more success against Tom Brady than the Miami Dolphins. And for years, they were a trash team. I can admit it. I'm a fan. I love my team, but I know that they were trash. But I knew when that they played Brady, there was a chance we were going to beat them because we knew how to get in Brady's head. We knew how to get to Brady. Ken Dorsey is fired. Breaking news. Hilarious. And in my opinion, look, you look around the NFL right now, there is, you look around the division right now, it is, Dolphins have to really screw up to lose this thing. They essentially, for all intents and purposes, have a 2-game cushion. Dolphins have a 2-game cushion. It's a game and a half, but let's say 2 games. They have a 2-game cushion. They're going to have to screw up royally. And I don't see that happening because they're going to win the next 5 games, in my opinion. And then the last 3 are going to be interesting, right? Cowboys, Ravens, but the Ravens, they're going to be coming off a West Coast trip to San Francisco. That ain't no joke. I'm just saying. The Buffalo Bills struggled to lose to a team that we beat by 50 points. The Miami Dolphins are hands down the best team in the AFC East, and it's not even close. Stephen D, as usual, just dropping facts on my way home, twin. Just finished up with a client. Did you see my Twitter? I hit you up on Twitter, Bearded Fanatic. Is Armstead back in December? I think Armstead's going to be back here in the next few weeks. Greg Fontaine said Dolphins should be 11-3 going into Christmas. I agree with you. I know who's not going to be 11-3 going into Christmas. Kansas City Chiefs. They're not. 100% not. Right? So it's a good segue to go back to what we were talking about and what we were doing here. Okay? We bring this back. All right. Here we go. Kansas City Chiefs. Next few games. They got Monday night against the Eagles. Do we really think that they're going, that's just a gimme? No. And I'm going to be rooting for the Eagles there. Let's go Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. They got the Raiders, division game. Call it what you want. Denver already beat them. They're not going to lose that game. Just want to throw that out there. Kansas City's going to beat the Raiders. They're going to beat the Packers. They're going to beat the Bills. They're going to beat the Patriots. Oh, man, Chiefs have a cupcake schedule after this Eagles game. Cupcake. The Bengals and the Chargers. Chiefs might get the number 1 seed purely based on that cupcake-ass schedule they got for the rest of the year. So we better be rooting. We Monday night, we are huge Eagles fans. Just want to throw that out there. Huge Eagles fans. Because they have a cupcake schedule the rest of the year. I don't know how many more losses they're going to get. I think they're going to get 2 more. I think the Chiefs are going to get 2 more. But that would require the Dolphins winning out for that to happen. And I think they can do that. Just want to throw that out there. I think the Dolphins have the ability to win out. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. But that's where I'm at. But after this Eagles game, the next 4 weeks for the Chiefs, they're not losing. They're not losing against the Raiders. They're not losing against the Packers. They're definitely not losing against the Bills, and they're definitely not losing against the Patriots. They might, the Raiders might pull out 1 if they're lucky because it's a divisional opponent. The Bengals on New Year's Eve, that's gotta hope Joe Burrow shows up on New Year's Eve in Kansas City. They could lose to the Raiders, but I'm not going to hold my breath. I get the any given Sunday here. I understand it. All right, so we did the AFC West. By the way, I think that it's going to be the Chiefs, the Broncos. The Broncos are going to have a chance to make the division. The Chargers, and essentially, I think the Chargers are probably going to finish last, but it's not going to be the Broncos. On the AFC North, I think the Ravens are at 7-3, have a very tough schedule at the end, but so do a lot of those teams. I don't know. I have no idea how the AFC North is going to turn out. None. Like that's a flip of the coin. And then the AFC South, the Jaguars at 6-3, write it down, will not make the playoffs. They will not make the playoffs. The Jaguars will not make the playoffs. It's a tough schedule. And Texans, I think the Texans are going to win that division, but I don't think the Jaguars are. Sure don't. Jaguars don't make the playoffs at 6-3 right now. Throwing it out there. All right. AFC East. AFC East. Patriots 2-8. 2-8. Let me say that again for the people in the back that didn't hear me. The Patriots are 2-8. It's a beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. Let's have this quick conversation about New England. Is New England Fugazi? Are they frauds? I don't exactly know I don't exactly know. Okay. And what I mean by that is, was Tom Brady the centerpiece of his success? Obviously, we can say that it was. But let's get something straight. The Cleveland years, we saw the potential that Belichick had. He just couldn't get over the hump in Cleveland, right? That doesn't quite work out. They end up moving to Baltimore. He ends up going to back to Bill Parcells into the Jets staff, coaches the Jets for literally 24 hours, then goes to the Patriots. Has Drew Bledsoe, builds up a little something there, and then Tom Brady's is one of his first picks and ends up being Hall of Famer and everything, right? And for 20 years, we looked up at that team in that division. And the weird thing about it is it did not matter if Brady got hurt. They were still good, whether it was Jacoby Brissett, whether it was Jimmy Garoppolo, whether it was Matt Castle. Matt Castle got a $60 million contract because of Belichick and that system. Well, what happened when Brady left to go to Tampa? And what I think happened is the structure of the locker room changed. I don't know this for sure. This is a theory. I just think the structure or the respect in the locker room might have changed a little bit. When Brady left, it was essentially to Robert Kraft, who said, you're either choosing Brady or you're choosing Belichick. And he chose Belichick. And Brady went and got another ring down in Tampa. And what has Belichick done since then? Nothing. They went and got Wack Jones, who they thought, I don't know if they thought he was going to be great, but they definitely thought he could play within their system. Their most successful quarterback, arguably, since Brady has been Bailey Zappi, whatever his name is. Essentially, Zappi has been their most successful quarterback, and he ain't good. Just want to throw that out there. They've cut and released him a couple times. Belichick showed me something this past Sunday where I legit question, is he done? And this is what happened. Wack Jones plays the entire game up until the last series. And in the fourth quarter, with a couple of minutes left in the game, you bring up Bailey Zappi cold off the bench. Didn't really warm up, nothing. Just said, all right, you're going in. So you let Zappi go in. And at that point, you're like, well, what's going on here? If you were going to bench Wack Jones, it should have been in the third quarter of that game. Earliest halftime, but definitely the third quarter. So I look at that game and I say, okay, Zappi in the post-game press conference said something that was really interesting. Zappi goes, I can't comment on that. I think the question was asked to him, why did you do the fake spike? What happened with the fake spike? And he's like, well, I can't really talk about what I want to say. I can't really say what I want to say, but I think Zappi is not liking the play calling that's happening there. I think, and he tried to make the most out of a horrible situation. Their number one wide receiver there was Devontae Parker. And still is, I guess. I think he's hurt, but I'm just telling you right now, the Patriots are not what they were. And I don't think Belichick makes it after this year. Because if it's any, and let's be honest, if it's any other head coach in the NFL over the last 3 years, they're gone. They don't make it through this. The only reason Belichick has not been fired at the middle of the year is he has 20 years of success and 6 Super Bowl rings. That's the only reason. But I'm telling you right now, if this is the end of his legacy, it's not the end of his coaching career. Belichick does not want to go out like this. Belichick will be back coaching somewhere. Where? I don't know, but he'll be back somewhere. Because there's no way Belichick wants to go out like a loser, because that's what he is right now. And that's what the New England Patriots are. They are straight losers. Straight losers. Paul said, just let Bill Belichick tread water for another 10 years. Refs helped out the Pats and Brady all the time. Refs were helping the Pats even in the Bledsoe era. New England is tanking. Are people blind? You might be right. Mike, you might be 100% on the head. Belichick could have walked into Kraft's office and said, all right, we just need to lose this year. We need to go out and get Caleb Williams or Drake May or whoever. Mike, that's not a far off theory. That's not a far off theory at all. And I'll do you one better. I think that when the Dolphins, end the season and the draft happens, I do think that they'll have a new starting quarterback. Obviously, they're 2-8, right? They're 2-8. What else can they really do? There's not too much they can do. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. Alexander says, I think Belichick ends up in Washington. That might not be. Outside C says, Eric Bieniemy's getting the Commander's job. Stop and Watch Entertainment says, Mac Jones was good his rookie year and the Pats were hot. I don't know what happened, but my guess is they wanted the boy to be a young Tom Brady, and his shoes are too big for that kid. They ruined him. I don't necessarily have a problem with that theory either. I don't have a problem with that theory either. All right, the Jets. The Jets are sitting at 4-5. There's no point in me talking about the Patriots because they're not going to do anything. The Jets. What about the Jets? What do I think about the Jets? The Jets defense is good. The Jets defense has some dogs. Sauce Gardner might be one of the best defenders in all of the NFL already. Like, he's that good. I am not sitting here denying what Robert Saleh can do on defense. What I am going to sit here and do is say that I do not believe in that offense in any way, shape, or form. And that includes if somehow by some miracle Aaron Rodgers comes out of retirement, or comes off of his injury. I said retirement. Comes off his injury in December. By some miracle. I don't see them overcoming whatever obstacles they have in front of them. Looking at the Jets' schedule, remaining schedule, they got the Bills. They could probably win that game, and they probably will. They got us. They're losing to us on Black Friday. I don't care what anybody says. The Falcons, maybe. They're losing to the Texans. And then they face us again in December in Miami. They face the Commanders. Depends on what Commanders team shows up. The Browns and the Patriots. So, look, 1, 2, 3, 4. The Jets are losing 3 to 4 more games. And if the Jets lose a minimum of 3 more games, all right, that gives them 6, 7, 8 losses. I don't think an 8-loss team is making the playoffs. And if they do, it's an outside shot at the 7th seed. It's an outside shot at the 7th seed. I don't believe a 9-8 team is making the playoffs. Just want to throw that out there. The Jets will lose 8 games this year. They are going to lose 3 more times. Facts. I'm telling you, that's what the case is going to be. And the Bills' remaining schedule are the Jets, the Eagles, that's a loss. The Chiefs, that's a loss. The Cowboys, that's a loss. The Chargers, they got to go to the West Coast. That's tough. The Patriots, no. And then us. Buffalo Bills are going to lose 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 more games. The Bills might lose 10 games this year. And I'm going to say they're going to lose 9. At minimum, they're going to lose 9. Bills, minimum, will lose 9 games. Jets, minimum, will lose 8 games. I think the Jets finish in second. I think the Bills finish in third. And I think the Patriots are last. And I think the Dolphins have all but the division wrapped up and put a bow on it. The Dolphins would have to implode. They would have to implode. Their remaining games are the Raiders, the Jets, the Commanders, FedEx Takeover, get your tickets, the Titans, the Jets, the Cowboys, the Ravens, the Bills. I really don't see a tough game till the Cowboys, Ravens, and Bills. And even then, I don't see us losing at home on Christmas Eve to the Cowboys. I just don't. William Perry says, Caleb is not a good quarterback. Sorry, bigger bust than Jamarcus Russell. You know how I feel about Caleb Williams, William Perry, and I do not believe that even for a minute. Even for a minute. Here's what the Dolphins have to do. They have to overcome their December woes. That's the first thing they have to do. Have to overcome their December woes. Here's a good thing about the Miami Dolphins right now. We're coming off a bye week. We're healthy. We're getting healthy. We're on the other end of healthy. Or we're getting on the end of healthy from the other end of healthy. You know what I'm trying to say. We're getting healthy is what I'm trying to say. And I'm excited about it. I'm here for it. I think that the Dolphins are exactly where they want to be. Would they have wanted to beat Philly or Kansas City? Of course. But we're winning the next 5 games. We're beating the Jets on we're beating the Raiders. We're beating the Jets on Black Friday. We're beating the Commanders. We're beating the Titans on Monday Night Football. And then we're going to beat the Jets again at home. And then the Cowboys, Ravens, and Bills will be test. They'll be test. If Aaron Rodgers comes back for that December 17th game, there's no way that the Dolphins sleep on that because they are going to want every piece of Aaron Rodgers to say, you should have stayed on the sideline, sir. Shouldn't have came. Shouldn't have came back. That's how I look at it. I don't believe in the Jets. I don't believe in them. I don't think they're a good team. I think their defense is okay. And you can win with an okay defense. Okay. And they have some moments where they're better than okay. But consistently, no. I don't see them being a consistent, like they're losing at minimum 3 more games, which puts them at 6, 7, 8 losses. And a 9-8 team is not making the playoffs. Miami essentially has to implode for them to ruin this thing. And that means the Dolphins would have to do what the Dolphins do in December, which they have to overcome, right? So this is the Dolphins' year. Everything is set up perfectly for the Dolphins. We have a 2-game cushion. The Dolphins are set up for success. And the team that you do watch out for is maybe the Jets. But I think we're going to see I think we're going to see why the Dolphins are the better team. Reverend William Perry says, you didn't say Reverend, Stephen. I will not take kindly to your blasphemy. Look here, William. Ice Tray Perry. 40-year-old tendons, stop. Again, breaking news, Ken Dorsey fired. I just don't see them. I just do not see them overcoming it. And I'm okay with it. I'm here for what the Dolphins are going to do. I think this is the Dolphins' year, ladies and gentlemen. This is our year. This is our year. And you should be very, very happy about it. Very happy about it. Because I know I am. I know I am. And it's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. All right. All right. So, Stephen D, Ken Dorsey is 100% the scapegoat. Oh, of course he is. You think Dorsey had plays called for those interceptions and fumbles? Maybe. He's a Miami guy at heart, Ken Dorsey. Just throwing that out there. He's 100% the scapegoat. And to be perfectly honest with you, I think this is just a last dish effort maybe for Sean McDermott. It's maybe a last ditch effort for him. So I don't know what they do. We'll have to see what happens moving forward. Color is right. We have to handle business from here on out. We do. We 100% do. I love it, man. I love it. We have relieved offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey of his duties. Quarterbacks coach Joe Brady will serve as interim offensive coordinator. Not Dorsey's fault that there was 12 men on the field last night. Facts. Not Leslie Frazier's either. Not Leslie Frazier's either. I don't know what they do moving forward, but I'm here for it. I am here for it. It has never been a better time for the Dolphins and Dolphins fans to be there, man. And it's gonna be a beautiful thing. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. All right, Miami Sports Music's #1 Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers, right here on the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. If you agree or disagree with me in the comment section below of this video, make sure you guys hit it and let me know what you think. I want to interact with you in the comments section of the video. If you're watching this live, make sure you hit the like button, donate to the channel, help the channel grow. I'm doing a short show today because I have a conversation with former NFL Miami Dolphins player company. So I'm going to be doing a phone call here in about 7 minutes with them. So I'm sorry it's a short show today, but trust me, I think you guys are going to like what I have planned. I do want to remind you guys, for those of you who are watching, we do have limited tickets left for the FedEx Takeover. If you are interested in going to the FedEx Takeover, I have access to game tickets, but you have to hit me up now on DM at Stephen D SKPL. Spread kindness, positivity, and love. Make sure you guys do that, okay? It is the only way to hit me up. So I have access to tickets. We have all-inclusive tailgates if you're interested in that. It's going to be a lot of fun, so I hope you're going to be joining me in DC. If you want to go to Baltimore too, we still have Baltimore stuff. And it's just a reminder, we're sold out of the group rate. But let me bring the new link up here for this. Here we go. We're sold out of the group rate for the hotel, but if you want to know what hotel we're partnering with, the Hampton Inn by Hilton in Washington, D.C. / White House, they still have rooms available, just not at the group rate. So if you're coming to D.C. and you want to know, we're also going to have a bus leaving the hotel to go to the tailgate and back to the hotel. It's $50 round trip for the ticket. So look, if you want to come and hang out with us, it's going to be good. They got free breakfast there. It's literally right behind the White House. We're going to have a good time in D.C. And then that Saturday night meet and greet is going to be fire. And I got a lot of cool stuff going on, so it should be good. Tomorrow's Wildin' Out Wednesday, so I should have a good show lined up for y'all tomorrow. Everybody's welcome. Everybody's invited. I hope to see y'all there. And, yeah, I think that's what I got pretty much going on. I hope y'all enjoyed the show today. It was a lot of fun. This is a great, great show. And hope you were good, man. You guys are the best fans in the world. And I will see you guys tomorrow on Wildin' Out Wednesday. Hope you all enjoy it. Be good. Peace.
Singing this just to welcome bro. Who that? To a time, to a time. Yeah. Time to grind, time to shine. To a time, to a time. Yeah. To a time, to a time. To a time, to a time. Yeah. Time to grind, time to shine.